Elevated TV radio for undiluted, unadulterated. It's probably replicated, but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Elevated TV radio. I seriously love listening to it. Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakulo, and you're listening to Elevated TV radio. Stay tuned. Elevated TV radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen. You are listening to Elevated TV Radio. Elevated TV Radio. We dare to lead. This is radio like you never heard before. Elevated TV Radio. The pathfinder for radio. Elevated TV Radio. We are not just about radio, TV, or YouTube numbers. We are all about connecting with people and creating a community of great minds and values.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of the Sports Buffet. It is one sex tape to the other different days. Every day you wake up, there is one thing that is going to trend that will make yesterday's event look like child play. So it's Real Madrid youth players that are now involved in sharing underage sex tape. But would jump over that one and focus on other things today. Hey, Blessing and Karate, how you doing? So many things to talk about, but it's Friday. Friday is anything goes. So you guys are more or less the real owners of the show. All your questions, everything you want to ask, bring it up on the show. But having said that, Emmanuel Sebastian is here with me. Emmanuel Sebastian, good morning and welcome to the show. How you doing?
All right, good morning to you. Good morning to the listeners. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
I remember. I remember when I was younger, that hashtag used to be TGI.
You used to have like all these,
you
Monday is money making Monday, Tuesday, I've forgotten that then Wednesday, when I was in Braille, it was language Wednesday, and then Thursday was sing along Thursday.
Or throwback Thursday, something like that.
Sing along Thursday or throwback Thursday, and then you have Friday, thank God it's Friday. A whole lot, child.
So yeah,
I struggle to play catch up to it now. But back then, you know, kind of like uniformity. You want to. I think the person who had it all wrapped up better for all the people that I worked with was Akim Kilani, the Jiggy man. Kind of like, I mean, used to be my best friend like back in the day when I started, but later on we went like polar opposites, like completely polar opposites. And the funny thing was because of a book. I remember borrowing him a book. Two of my books, The Religion of Duty and Black Cross. And then he lost the book, and then he came back with his attitude that it's just a book. And I was like, really? Seriously, my book? My book is just a book. And I'm like, okay, we couldn't mend fences anymore. That was just the end of it. But on the job, it was one of the most professional guys that I know on the job.
Talking about trends and all that. I mean, your intro on the show talking about one sex tape together, but we have to move away from that. I mean,
there was sex tape in Nigeria before Mobad died, and then
it's just the way it's gathering place now. Football related matters. It's just something surprising.
But sex have always been in it. I think social media now made a lot of things more in the faces of people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back to even when I played in the Nigerian league, it was football and sex. So to be honest, it was football and sex. I'm not sure if we were doing anything wrong, illegal to say, but there is always the woman that sells food by the stadium or for our training ground, or the woman that sells food by the camp, and our daughter, the girl around, one girl that comes to the stadium always to watch training and watch matches. Everybody is in competition to sleep with her, and sometimes you hear stories like, "Oh, she slept with like 8 players." It didn't mean, like, let's be very, very fair. It didn't mean anything. So me, I'm awkward in terms of like relationship. I didn't share woman with anybody. I didn't think it was right. Even on radio, when I was on radio, you kind of hear, especially the callers. Oh, this female caller slept with this guy. I wasn't that. I wasn't that. I wasn't. It wasn't my thing. Like, oh, because I kind of like feel, especially my mom was alive when I was still in radio. I kind of like feel like this would kill my mom. My mom gets to hear of, you could accuse me of many things. Two things that I know that will just destroy my mom is stealing and having a sex scandal kind of stuff. So it was more of the fear of what it would do to my mom than any other thing else. And I think I was able to escape.
But going ahead to record, I mean, these are Real Madrid youth players going ahead to record. Having and you share it amongst your peers.
It's a case of what's done in the dark. But again, I think okay. So this generation, let me tell you something that I noticed with this generation. Because I work at a Kobite, I try to get. Sometimes you think you're teaching people, but you're learning from them more than you're teaching them. And tomorrow is their graduation. We're having graduation tomorrow, and it seems like it's the last class. This is the end of the program. Unless we get a magical sponsor that comes in, but this is the end. This is as far as we can carry it from 2015 up until now. I think we tried. I think what this generation does is, so there is so much truth and there. Somebody can come and say, "Oh, Emmanuel, I'm dating Emmanuel," and the other girls like, "My friend, shut up. Emmanuel, no good, no good. Emmanuel will not even have anything to do with somebody like you. You this dirty guy."
You want to prove it.
So you want to prove it, and you find a way to, first sex pictures, nude pictures, and sex tape together, and then you share it. When you're sharing that, you're sharing it just like, okay, these are my buddies. But look at the age. How can you be trust as a teenager? How can you be trusting another teenager? That's so much of a burden, too much of a responsibility to put in the head of another teenager. Say, I trust you with my secret. Teenager, that's too much. That's too much. And it always comes out eventually. So I'm not. I don't know what to say, but I don't think it's the right thing to do. But then again, the world we live in is such that it is trend based. By trend based, I mean, somebody asked me the other day that if I mistakenly have a sex tape, and I said, well, the way AI is evil, somebody can create a sex tape and put your face, your picture, you on it. It's not like you're the one, but millions of people will believe that it's you. And so I told him it was my friend, and it was like, oh, this whole sex scandal that's going on, as stubborn and as crazy as you are, you stay away from scandal. What if a sex scandal come? And I told him, I said, the scandal that can kill me is if I steal. If truly I steal. If I don't steal, you accuse me of stealing, that's not a scandal. I'm already rich, especially if you have money. I'm rich. Like I'm going to go to court and fight you till we see who's a thief or who's not a thief. But if I get a sex scandal, I don't think that's a scandal. You know I don't think it's a scandal.
For you, though.
I don't think it's a scandal for anybody. I don't think anybody should be angry that the sex tape of them come out. When God created the world, were they not naked? Sometimes I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, so God is watching from heaven, right? Seeing all the activities of men, right? When he created them naked, if Adam and Eve didn't eat the apple and they didn't chase them out of the garden and they multiply inside that garden, what was God planning? Is it not a sex orgy he was planning originally? And then what was the original plan? Let's go with the Bible script. What was the original plan? That everybody, they keep multiplying and replenish the earth. Let's start with that garden. What was it planning? Not be sex, original blue film God wanted to watch.
I have no voice.
Okay.
Anyways, you talked about stealing. It flashed my mind. I saw a headline this morning that one Black American rapper, she said one of the most romantic things that a man has done for her was to rob another man on Valentine's Day and give her all the money. Like, it was just so sweet. Like, how would you tag that as romantic? Anyway, when you're talking about stealing, it just came to my mind. Oh,
Okay, so let's
like you rob someone else and then give you the money, and you said it was the most romantic thing that was ever done for you. Like, how? Crazy things are happening, man. I don't know, maybe if these stories are made up, I don't know.
No, I don't think they're made up. I don't know what makes it romantic, but I think it's weird. But again, everybody have different explanation to what is romantic and what is not. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what I think is romantic is what another person should think is romantic.
Yeah, true.
Okay, you know, people do BDSM. I think it's madness. But to some other people, that's like, oh, shame me, flog me. I don't understand. For sex. I'll use Koboko flog person for sex. Cool, go slap Amin. I mean, I just flog us. Where you go, guys? I don't understand. You know, so everybody have. I once dated a girl who says, if you don't beat her, you don't love her. Like, I will break just an animal girl, Chinasa. You know, like, oh, if you don't beat me, you don't love me. Again, before sex, we must be tipsy. Like, I'm looking at this girl like, Chris, this girl is Chris. So I don't know who you build, but there is nothing in your arrangement that can make me drink alcohol. So pack your load and go in Jesus' name. That's just the way. So let's go to questions that we'll be answering all through the show. If you have the chance to put 5 coaches as your all-time greatest coaches, who's on your all-time 5 greatest coaches forever, right? What's the craziest thing you've ever, since you talked about somebody stealing to give a girl Valentine's gift, what's the craziest thing you ever did because of football? How long can you go without watching, reading, or talking about your favorite team? Emmanuel, the ball is in your court. Let's leave the top all-time 5 greatest coaches first. But what's the craziest thing you've done for football?
I mean, I've went long distance to watch a football match. People in my house see me as crazy. You know, match where you watch for house. When you watch for house, you go spend transport, go long distance.
Like, I don't belong to that group.
No,
if the game is not going on if the game is not happening in my house, I know they go my neighbor house go watch.
I did that a lot. I mean, especially when it's all these Champions League games too, and I stay over, like, you know, I spend a lot of money. I would just go visit the pits one day. So I just go that long distance to watch games. So I think that should be up there among one of the crazy things I've done for football. And it's not just Liverpool team, like normal football generally.
How long can you go without talking about Liverpool, without watching Liverpool, without reading about them, doing anything about Liverpool? How long can you go?
I mean, I can go a week, more than a week. I think I can do that, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so if they throw you in jail now, 5 years sentence, you will still be in the jail, be talking about Liverpool, be? Okay. Well, let's leave it for the guys out there to answer this question. But okay, let's bring you up to speed with your best coaches. Top 5.
Club or general?
General coaches, anyone, both national team and club. It doesn't have to be your club. Just general, all-time top 5 coaches that you admire like mad. Like, if you were ever a footballer, you would want them to coach you.
I would, of course, coaches that I watched, that I witnessed.
Yep.
I mean, Jose Mourinho has to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho definitely has to be there. And who else?
Is that number 1 or number 5?
In no particular order.
There should be
top 5.
No. Counting from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5.
I'm trying to get the top 5 in my head now. So
you really decrease. You really decrease. Only 5 I talk about 1 million.
Pep Guardiola will be there as well.
Okay.
Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola. Who else? I don't want to say Jurgen Klopp right now, but I think he would be there. Maybe the 5th, but I think Jurgen Klopp will be there. Who else? Our managers now going in my head at the moment.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
I'll put on Calibia as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlo Ancelotti deserves to be there as well. That's 4 now.
Yes.
Then who else?
Zidane?
No, I won't put Zidane.
Did Deschamps?
I won't put Zidane. I won't put Deschamps. I won't put Zidane. I won't put Deschamps.
You have a problem. You have a problem with French people.
No, it's not really a problem with French people, but I wouldn't really put them. What's the last person on my list?
Are you asking me? Is it my list?
I'll just put Steven Keshi there because I watched that AFCON. I saw it, what he did. I mean, especially coming from the father.
So you pick Steven Keshi ahead of Avi Renard?
I'll put Steven Keshi. Maybe this is where my should I say
your national bias?
Exactly. But because of I witnessed the AFCON.
But honestly, I would also pick Steven Keshi ahead of Avi Renard, but not because of the 2013 African Cup of Nations. Anybody who is incredible enough to fight Togo for a FIFA World Cup deserve mention. Togo in Africa qualifying for the World Cup. I know that one is it's greater than Nigeria winning the Atlanta Olympics. So I'm not sure it will be my top five, but I would pick him ahead of Avi Renard. That's just the point that I wanted to prove. Let's go on the show. It's up to you now. Let's move on.
All right. So it's Friday.
But before you even go, Steph, let me read some of the messages that we've had so that they're already coming in. Since Nali must say back in school, my mates will be going to class, but I'll be at the field working out. I really wanted to be a pro. Now, crazy worry that time. So I believe. Madonna Jackson, they say craziest, more like most stupid in bracket now. Thing I've done because of football was sitting in the middle of the road after the famous Barcelona versus Chelsea 2009 UEFA Champions League game. Man, people, children, Momo.
Is it Chelsea fan or Barcelona fan?
I know you not talk. People, children, Momo.
I like to know.
Your mama carry for 9 months with all those pains. See what they do with your life. Think about your life. You supposed to be a dynamo. You can never make it. Who's that? Say good morning, bros. Good morning to you, my brother. How you doing? How's everything on your end? Saviki say my best coaches is Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti, Fabio Capello, and Marcello Lippi. Man,
Lippi.
A lot of people on my list is on this list anyway. Saviki, that's a nice one that you just picked. Michael say, man, you know go one person or God creating man and woman for action. But I'm true, and I'm bluffing now. I'll be bluffing. Let's say his eyes, he sees everything. He never sleeps nor slumber. Why? I don't know. He watches over everything. So God never sleeps. It's
possible for a lot of naked people to be in the room without anything.
You the now story you define. You mad. What can be? You're crazy. A lot of naked people in the room. Now Big Brother. People who enter Big Brother as enemies. They don't know each other. Within 48 hours, they don't smush. You know the power of nakedness. Nakedness, that power past drug, no rich. It's the hardest drug in the whole world. Not try me. Madonna Jackson says Guardiola, Mourinho, Alex Ferguson, Ancelotti, Fabio Capello. Okay, that's good. Leo, where have you been? Bonjour, boss. Good weekend. Back to base. Looking forward to lovely show this morning as always. Thank you very much. Professor Aaron Turego, good morning to you. Chief Alebate, I greet you. I remember sneaking out of the house to watch a Champions League match at Sheklo back in the day. This guy does. Oh, Jesus Christ! This guy does bring back some amazing memories. I'm just seeing pictures now. No evidence, but I'm gonna explain tire, but I know what he would do. Sheklo, Jesus, and Jesus, Aaron Turego, you're a bad guy. You're a very, very bad guy. Champions League match at Share Club back in the day. I collect beating when I come back. When you get academician as parents, what do they expect? Let's go, Emmanuel.
All right, moving on the show. It's Friday, of course, and Club Football is back this weekend, and we are gearing up for that. But
first off, before you go, PSCN or NEPA or they beat, whatever they beat, see. This light we not get, so the money I spend for quite too much. They bite me now. They really bite me. All my leg they shake. This light still, it's not good. Oh. Even generator already feel am. I know if you, I know if you on the, my audience now, UPS will get issue.
But
Why?
it's been better in my area.
And it was better here. I was able to also praising them, but since this week you don't see never light. You don't know what that one be for me. Ha, I beg you.
All right, let's talk about
25K per day, it's easy.
really a lot, really a lot. So let's talk about football now. Resuming this weekend. Let's start off on the home front.
Yep.
CAF Confederations Cup.
We moved it forward to Friday.
Yeah,
So
someone wanted us to preview those games, but Rivers United and Beden Insurance will be in action this weekend in their respective CAF Confederations Cup tie. Let's start off with Rivers United. Stanley Luma, yesterday, I think he's raised around over there in some league games ahead of the CAF Confederations Cup encounter. And I mean, he's put that down as part of the problems why the Nigerian team struggled in this preliminary rounds due to the absence of no league games and stuff like that. But Rivers United, they travel to Ivory Coast to take on a 12 Filante. It's the Burkina Faso club side, but they will be playing that will be in Ivory Coast. So, what's your take on Rivers United chances in this game? This is what Stanley Guma came out to say, previewing that game. He said Rivers United is ready for the CAF Competitions Cup game. We've been training hard for this tie and playing some few local friendlies to keep the team ready for the task ahead. When I say that, assuming the MPFL is on at this point, it could have given Rivers United the platform to play high-level games to keep them in top form ahead of the CAF games. Now, this is the case. Because studying players' performance in real match situations in the league give coaches the ability to correct mistakes in their team
true.
before any CAF game. So the league absence is the major issue Nigerian clubs playing CAF championships are facing. So that was what he came out to say. When I'm saying at this point, the focus is on putting the players in the right frame of mind to get the desired result in the away game against the total Finante. It's positive and we look forward to get a good result in Ivory. What's your take on this? Do you think it's really affecting Nigerian teams?
Yeah, but lack of the sheer lack of competitive game will definitely affect it. Seems like any team that is preparing for competition. I thought that the reason why we did the Abridged League last season was to be able to curb this and be able to like really run through the league in the proper way. But unfortunately, even that have not turned out to be fruitful, as lack of sponsorship and some deals that are supposed to have been signed are beginning to delay, drag, back and forth. Is causing a whole lot of problem. I think that eventually we will get through it. And when I say get through it, we'll get past this phase and then we get into the phase where we say the league will start so and so day and then it will start. Even those of us who are very, very enthusiastic and passionate about the league are beginning to feel like, getting our fingers burnt too much because of the day. I think that, the league will start next week anyway. I think it will start next weekend. But because of too much postponement, you're almost telling yourself, well, forget about it. Or anything can happen. These guys can change their mind and decide not to, run the league again. So you're just in a place where you can't really vouch for them like normal. And what Saneguma said is true. Friendly matches or training matches, as it is, it's not even proper friendly matches. Training matches, players may not go hard on tackle challenges, runs, and that energy of we have 3 points at stake, we need a victory, we have pride at stake. It's not there. And sometimes the opposition you're playing are also not tough enough. They don't give you stiff tests to really stress test you to make you know, okay, we are in competition mode right now. We are ready. So it's a bit tough. So it takes a whole lot of psyching the players, pushing their psychology beyond seeing the game as a friendly game. And then in the opposition, this is where momentum comes to play. I one my old analogy. I said that if you put a Honda and a Ferrari in a race, and the Ferrari have to start its engine before going from 0 to 100 in that 4 seconds, but the Honda is already hot and in Jar 5 or 7 or whatever it has, the Honda will beat the Ferrari to a 100-meter dash. Might beat the Ferrari. Let me use that word. Might, because it's not 100% certain. Might beat the Ferrari to a 100-meter dash. But if you put all things being equal, the Honda is not in the race. So in this case, the Filante team might just be Ivorian team, Filante, right?
Yeah.
Might just be the Honda, and Rivers United proverbial Ferrari, but there is no momentum. There is no, the engine is not steaming, it's not hot, the valves are not open. They just might crank it up, and the Honda is already 50 meters ahead before they rev 75 meters ahead, and before you play catch up, they've crossed the finish line. And that just might be very, very bad for Rivers United. They went all the way to the quarterfinals last season, if I'm not mistaken. And so they will have to dig deep and find the ability to get results away from home. And then it's CAF competition. There is nothing like, oh, you get a result away from home and then it means you win at home. Anything can happen. We saw Enyimba lose 4-3. Everybody say, oh, the score 3 goes away from home. They're going to come home and do the job. The opposition came and draw. And that's not the first time it's happening. In October 2008, I remember very well, even when we got a good result against Al Ahly, came back home here and they were like, oh, we lost 1-0. We'll come to Aba and beat them. Nah, it didn't happen. Al Ahly's coach, the Portuguese guy, came in with the team. Botrika was there. All those big players were there. I mean, I was in Aba that day. I saw him played the goalless draw. The game ended. Okay, so these things can happen, but let's just keep our fingers crossed and see Rivers United based off on sentiment. This is not analysis based on fact or what evidence of what I've seen, but based off on sentiment, Rivers United will skate through as the bigger club and just go through. But we don't know how prepared the Ivorian team is. Same with the other team, Bendel Insurance. Bendel Insurance have a little bit of momentum because they played in the competition, they qualified the first round.
But they played tougher opponents. RS former Confederations Cup champions.
That's where
team as well.
That's where I'm going to. So when you look at who they are playing now, it's different from who they played previously.
Yeah.
And if you look again, it was very let my people go that they used to qualify to this round. By that I mean that they went away and lost 1-0, came back home, won 1-0, went into penalty, they won on penalties. But there's a bit of momentum, like, okay, there are lessons learned, we can improve on it, we can do this, we can do that. Bendel Insurance again also have one advantage of not conceding too many goals, but then they also don't score too many. Their hope for goal is the Made. And if you look at the Made's body language, persona right now, the guy is tired of playing in the MPFL. He wants to go out. He wants to go out. You could see from his demeanor, he's playing to leave. He's not playing to stay. I don't know how to describe that for you, but when somebody begins to get leggy, like when this God, why? When you understand, that's what you see in his demeanor. Unlike the first half of last season, where it was, oh, I've got this in me, I need to do. I think it's reached a place now where there's no excitement again. And if you see the kind of problem that the deputy governor is having in Benin, it means that if you play for Bendel Insurance right now, there's a possibility that we'll go suffer. Let's not put all our eggs in one basket. But let's see how it goes, because again, even if you want to move, it is games like this that you need to prove yourself. If you knock opposition like this out with an incredible performance, then you are in business. But let's keep our fingers crossed and say.
What would be the best result for them? They play at home first before they travel to Morocco.
And that's where it's difficult. So they need to win and win fine. But Bendel Insurance just scored too many goals. So in this game on paper, what would be best result is 3 goals. 3 goals minimum. 3 goals minimum. Yeah, they need to, because listen, the funny thing is I've seen teams win 3 goals here and go to Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, and first half they are 4 goals down. 4 goals down. I think something similar happened to Remo last season. First half, there are 4 goals down already. You know that, okay, it's not going to happen. Sometimes you can even be playing a North African team, 70th minute, 0-0. They will still score 4 goals in the remaining 20 minutes that remain. So you want to play them, you need to put your best foot forward, score as many goals as you can at home here, and then hope to God that you go away and you don't chip in goals. Because those guys can frustrate you from the airport. They would first off, they deal with your psychology. North Africans know that maybe if we play power for power, skill for skill, we might not be able to match them. So what we'll do is let us psychologically wreck them. Because if somebody is beating you psychologically, it's a Muhammad Ali tactics. Somebody is beating you psychologically. My mom used to say this: which way you feel beat for data, not go feel pressing for night. So if they beat you psychologically, it's going to be very hard for you to not get to play them. They will bring all these guys that will be blaring horn in front of your hotel, make noise, you can't sleep, you'll be jaded, you'll be really disturbed from the airport. Maybe a clearance process that will take say 1 hour, 30 minutes can take you 5 hours. Now you're angry because this is visibly something wrong. They check your passport, dust it, and do all those delay sluggishly. It's all the tactics. We don't do that. We don't have a unity of purpose, and we don't do that. We're very hospitable people. We're very nice people, but not Africans. They would easily let somebody who's carrying drugs to even easily pass through than the football club. When they are done with that, then it comes down to your hotel. Wherever you are staying, they know. The hotel will phone the club that this is where these people are staying. They will bring their noise, their drums, make sure you're not comfortable. The hotel cannot do anything. And then on match day, it could stress you, traffic, unnecessary traffic on the routes that you will follow because you're not having your driver there. It's your driver that's driving you. Go and read. If you read this book, you will see enough experience compressed here in this 1,000 times on the same road. There's volume 2 coming out now. You will see experience things that Nigerian clubs face on a daily basis going away from home, and it has not changed. It's still there. So if they want to, back to your question, the best option they have, win minimum by 3 goals. Look for 5, and then we are in business.
All right, just to let you know, that game is on Saturday, and we hope to see another Park Stadium in the name for that first leg game that we saw in the previous round, and hopefully we get the much needed results. I have my first comment here from Maduka. He said, "Please, we don't want any excuse from Stanley Eguma. We want to see a Nigerian team in the group stage." I mean, he's speaking the truth. I mean, he went on to say that he's positive, but speaking the truth doesn't mean you're.
It's not an excuse. It's actually saying the fact. It's hard to accept, but it is the fact. It's the reality of what's on ground. And if we have a system that listens, okay, because again, it comes down to, do people even listen in this part of the world? If we have a system that listens, we'll say, okay, let's fix this. It does not naturally mean, once they do that, once we start illegally, our teams will begin to win on the continent. But let's solve one problem out of the 99 problems that we have, so that Jose will not have to go back and do the remix of the song. Bottom line, let's solve that one first. Keep the team going. If the league starts in August and then they are not playing CAF competition in September, they would have jinked about 4 games. Look at the European Champions League. I know that people have been playing preliminary rounds, but this is now the real deal. Next week, we will have the real deal. Matches, it means that top leagues would have played 5 match days, 1 international break. So players are fine-tuned already. They are honed and ready to go, even though some teams will still struggle, but it is what it is. So I don't think it's an excuse, but it's just stating the obvious.
Right. I don't know if you have any comments to make before I move to next.
I think there's a few on Instagram that I saw coming late. Hold on. I think somebody sent. Instagram can be crazy, sure. You're trying to get one message and 20
keeps coming up.
Yes, I think it says such games are more of keeping form and fit. Those friendly games I'm talking about. So Snell I say Remo draw away but lost at home last season. Okay, thank you very much. Down till 2310 says I remember back in 1994, NEPA was really dealing with us with power at. So there is a bakery nearby who usually have regular supply as they are on a different transformer. So we usually connect to their light using about 50-meter cable. The only thing that works is the TV and standing fan. Dad was surprised to wake up to see TV on where there was no light. So I have a story like this when I was in Warri. You see this telephone cable. I don't know if you know this Nitel cable.
Yeah.
So I'll take it like 5 streets away from where we were because our light NEPA came, cut the cable, and took it away. They cut the cable and left. It was on a Sunday because if you come on a normal day, they'll beat the OL. So on a Sunday when nobody was around, people don't go to church, we came and cut the cable and left. We would not even bother. We dig. If you see the ninja walk, dig cable, pass people compound. Most of us, big cable pass their wall, they have to bust their fence like this. They can they go. As they go like that. As when they go, and so when they cover around the cement up, they go like 4 streets away. Put up light come. We'll take the edge from the normal, from the one way there, take light from the other side. We don't get light. We let the other side light, let the on bulb, music they play, fan they blow, TV they watch Indian film, have fun like that. If you don't complain now, is it you? We take us out, is it your business? We are doing our thing again like that. Let me check on YouTube if there are comments to read. YouTube, you have Olanari Ogbari says, hey, Dafe, how would you rate Julius Agawa in his prime day? I watched a little bit of him play, but was very, very young to understand the game at the time. Julius Agawa was a fantastic player, and suddenly said made it easy for him to really be that great. Okay, but he was a goal scorer both for the national team at Shakhtar Donetsk and everywhere he played. I rate him. So on terms in terms of skills and eye for goal, I rate him above Victor Osimhen. That's how good he was. But you know, he played in a team that had variety of stars. So sometimes attention is not on him. Unlike this team now, 100% attention is on Victor Osimhen. But that's about to change. So Victor Osimhen is going to pretty soon experience what people like Victor Gali, Agawa, Buffett Martins, and the rest, who were very good, but they have to share the spotlight with the Amokashis, coaches, and the rest, the Takas, and the rest of them. Victor Osimhen is about to experience that right now. But in terms of rating Agawa, very good. Very, very good. Temita says number 1 is Pep Guardiola, number 2 Jose Mourinho, number 3 is Alex Ferguson, number 4 is Carlo Ancelotti, and number 5 is Jurgen Klopp. Really? Mike, I say, what is the real issue for the delay? What the league is lack of sponsors, lack of sponsorship. They were supposed to, you know how when you send your proposal out there and the sponsors tell you, okay, we're ready, it's a good plan, it's a good project, we are in it. And then we are can't pay money now. So we're waiting. The election, first of all, it was the election tribunal. That was the excuse that, okay, let's see how the election tribunal goes. There is not much foreign exchange coming in. Let's hold on to the money that we have first. Let's see the policies of the government and all that. So the election, I'm not trying to make excuses, but the election really did have a way. And then some of the clubs are not even settled. Take a look at Rangers, for instance. The governor just managed to pay the contractor that is Amos Adamo's son, Michael Adamo, that is renovating the stadium in Enugu. But then he said, according to him, the grass, the astroturf that is shipped in, are still passing through custom, it's not been cleared and all that. So those delays. Now, Rangers with all the good plan that Eze Akamobi is putting together, they might not play their home game in Oka at the beginning of the season, which might just be a very, very big disadvantage for them. And then different clubs, play two, they're still trying to get funding. Kanu, Eimba, they're still struggling, even though Stake.com that have been pursuing for over 2 years finally have come in, but because of secrecy, we don't know how much the deal is worth. And there is a contract. Okay, Enugu Rangers curiously are working on a multiple sponsorship deals for different companies. They will announce it when they announce it officially. But I mean, the money is not much. 50 million here, 25 million there, 30 million there. That's like a couple of games, but it's needed to keep them going. Bernal Insurance are good because they have Sterling Bank. The first season, Sterling Bank paid 50 million. Last season, Sterling Bank paid 150 million. Now they're on the continent. I don't know what the money is, but I think it would have graduated. And if we go by the graduation from 50 to 150, I might just be saying 250 million. But then the internal political crisis in Benin might just also affect this thing because that's how we roll in this part of the world, okay? But let's just hope that all that work well and everything is fine. Michael says, concerning the league, it affects our teams despite the money pumped in by the government. The government is not really pumping in money. Michael says, I remember my experience with Eimba during the Champions League era as a member of the supporters club. Right, Mike, I want to say, if you want to experience Nitek cable for light, go to Lagos Island houses. They will tell you not to cut any cable anyhow. Well, its support is solo. Bros Mingo of Reno, please, I want to divert from the question you asked today and ask mine. Can you please tell what it takes to cover a match day? It depends. It depends on where. This question is too. This is an ambiguous question. So we need to know what you are asking. If it is the league, for instance, producing for broadcast, for transmission, is different from maybe they're playing. Let's say we go and cover a game in a scouting game, for instance. So it depends on what you're asking. So I need you to put some details to that question. And so you say I'm asking this to know who we always have, why we always have blackout when the Super Eagles are playing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
okay. Actually from now.
Okay, so let me go to that one. The Super Eagles, we don't have blackout when the Super Eagles are playing. The Super Eagles games are owned by two separate bodies. The World Cup qualifiers is owned by FIFA. You have to have the broadcast rights, but that's owned by FIFA. Is a collaboration between FIFA and CAF because it's a CAF region. Then the African Nations Cup qualifier is owned exclusively by CAF. You have to have the broadcast right to be able to broadcast the game. Now, what many Nigerians think is that all of a sudden, Super Eagles are playing in Uyo, NTA should be showing it, Silverbet should be showing it, AIT should be showing it, every channel. Yeah. My brother, it never work like that. If it works like that, then there's no money in sports. You have to pay. Ask your people. If you have people that stays in England, ask them. As we talk, so this Premier League where you watch for your house every day, people in England cannot watch it in their home unless they use VPN to hack into those streaming websites where they are doing illegal streaming. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to, you want to show the Super Eagles game was aired by DSTV. It was on DSTV. It was on Showmas. The other day, I told somebody, I said, sometimes we should understand how to get a legal hack of things. So Showmas allows you to share one account with 5 devices, right? And Showmas, the maximum is if you're not using a DSTV decoder, is 6,000 something. If you're paying with your card, it's 5,800. If only one person not go VPN, why can't 5 people come together and say, all right, guys, let's come together, set up an account wherever we are. We can watch on our iPad or our phone or whatever, our smart TV if we have smart TV, and then you're watching these things. It's just the same way I also tell people, a couple of people can come together and own an Amazon Prime account, even though that's very cheap, 2,000 something or so, less than 3,000, or a Netflix account that is 4,400. These are things that can be done. It's only in Nigeria everybody thinks on the part of exclusive. I went to Dubai. You order Karim, they'll ask you if you want a shared ride, and the same thing you go to the US or Europe, there is a pool car. Over here, everybody wants, that's why we get long traffic. Everybody wants to do my own is my own is but you don't get money. Now you poor pass. So you can solve all those problems. And that's what it takes to cover football matches. You have to have the broadcast right, and then from there, you now put it on the platform of your distribution.
All right. Someone here was asking me when are the games going to be played. For the Rivers United game, it's going to be played on Sunday. It's an away first leg. Sunday, I think it's an 8 p.m. kickoff right there in Ivory Coast before the reverse fixture on the 1st of October. Then for Bendel Insurance, the first game is tomorrow, Saturday, 4 p.m. kickoff in Benin before they travel to Morocco on Friday, the 29th of September.
This guy just raised an observation that does not resonate with me, and this is my reason. So I don't understand power outage as in power outage, okay? Not necessarily because of the job that I do. So this is what he said. It supports his solo. He said on 3 separate occasions now, when the match is being televised on any platform, local station or DSTV, there's always power interruption. Like almost everyone didn't see Awoniyi's goal. I saw it anyway.
To be honest, I watched that match due to my
your job. Yeah,
I watched it on Wazobia Max. It's an Afro sports feed, like a free-to-air feed.
Yeah,
and the feed wasn't great. It was disrupting a lot at times. For me too, I didn't see that when go, to be honest. And it was 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes late. So I don't know if
Valencia Nacho lobbed the ball over because Sima was offside. That one he just said the ball and put it in there.
So I don't know if the feed was disrupted on the passport.
No, it wasn't disrupted on Super Sports, and Afro TV must have gotten a low quality feed to air. Probably they didn't even pay for it. They are just, you know, the temptation. Now we do media. Do you know the temptation of wanting to broadcast other people's feed? That temptation is very high. But it takes discipline. Like, I mean, my channel, I've had people tell me, hey, just take this content and put it there. I don't know. I like my original content. I want to put my original content. I don't want to take anybody's content. The problem with it is you can get away with it now, but on the long run, where it matters most to you, you will lose it. What's the use? Crime na crime. Oh. I remember doing, what's that interview we did where my former station put it on their website and they wrote, speaking to our correspondents. I did. I just said, look at these bastards that sacked me and took my car using my content. I'm not just talk. I just, you know, you first give a warning shot before you shoot. If they to say they try them again, I will head that time. I'm very happy to go to court because now madness with that. Now maybe on a correspondence, exclusive interview I do and is speaking to a correspondent. I do a reporter. Not a file of now.
But talking about broadcasting private names, I mean, you talked about paying for it.
Yeah.
It's NTA help and all that. But you think we should be, because why I'm asking this, NTA on their Twitter feed, they posted that they were showing some Premier League games, one of the game. I don't know if it's NTA, whether it's one of the DSTV, OTV, or
StarTimes.
There's something on their Twitter that they were showing. So on the comments, people were like,
everybody on that comment, that's the level of ignorance that I keep telling you. You see this thing,
so
I saw the comments. So one thing that Nigerians have not learned, and they might not learn ever, is understanding rights. That's why we copyright things. Haven't you seen Akel Abi's book? That's small money, big business. Akel Abi, they drive for traffic. Then they want to send the book giver. Completed version. And you know, the guy doesn't even know that, okay, this thing, so they're illegal. Right? Nigerians do not understand what right is. And that's, again, another reason why I tell people who care to listen that Nigerian media are the greatest enemy to sports development in Nigeria. Thank God for YouTube and all the streaming platforms. Nigerian musicians for still be hungry die. Do you remember when one man, P-Man, came in and was fighting radio station for royalty? The radio station had the audacity to get angry. Hey, they don't want that. Let's cut them off. We're even helping them. Jesus, somebody's creating work that you're using to grow your station. You're helping them. And you're making massive profit. You cannot say, okay, let's come to a sit down and do a formula where we will give you certain percentage of what we get, and then this is like your what do we call it now? Your recovery house. Take all this money and you share with the artists. Even if you say they are corrupt, but there's a way you will give the money out. And then it will be clear that, okay, from playing Two-Face Idibia's song for the whole of this month, this is the time to play. This is what we're going to pay. And when you pay, you publish what you've given. Isn't that why? Have you not wondered why America have Billboard top 100? Nigeria not get. Because there is this innate criminality in us. Not from that politicians, so leave politics out of this thing now. What will they talk? So I'm talking me and you. You will get a job in a big media house in Nigeria. I tell you, you cannot join labor union. You are not allowed to do this. You know why? Because they want to perpetrate continuous criminality. I'm not talking of startup. Not people in our league now. I'm talking of the real big people. Every day they'll come on their show. Their stupid analysts and presenters will be telling you, Nigerian league is not good. The Premier League take away the money of ITV, Sky Sports, BT Sports, BBC. Make we see whether the Premier League is good. The Premier League not go good. You will be big media house in Nigeria. You know, last season, as the every game that was aired on NTA, GTA had to pay them between 4 to 6 million for every match day. And some of them, NTA not go show them. If they go on NTA, go yank you off, they go show one Navy parade or animal festival that one governor just called in, that's what he just called the DG, that's what he wants to watch, and they change away from the match. Somebody don't pay 6 million, no. They try to get market. So if not, imagine if there was no YouTube, there was no online platform to do all these things. You know what I'm saying? Now darkness will go there. So that's the problem. Nigerian media wants to air everything, but they don't want to pay. I tell you, if they get their way, they go run commentary for Premier League and the rest, but they're not going to pay broadcast rights. at all. That's why FIFA, I like how FIFA has done that. It's so right protected. You can't go to the World Cup, film with your phone, and put it on your YouTube channel. Don't worry now.
You can't.
You will hear from God. The word of God will come upon you.
Right. I don't know if you have any more comments before we go on.
It is well as I say. I had to watch the replay too. It's support. Sola also said, "Okay, thanks for explaining this, bros." Is it Patrick say, "This strike force is intriguing. I love it." All right, thank you very much. Let's move over to. There's nothing on Instagram.
So right, moving on the show. We have to, as long as he keeps on getting accolades, we have to continue talking about him. Victor Osimhen. Another prestigious award nomination. This time it is the best FIFA Men's Player of the Year award, and Osimhen has been nominated again. It's a 12-man nomination list. Now, we are all waiting for CAF Awards in December.
That one is a done deal. That one is a done deal.
What do you think we need? We're talking about voting blocks on our family WhatsApp the other time. What do we need to do for? Are we in for a shock if Osimhen doesn't win the CAF Award? We know he's going to win it.
There's not going to be a shock. There's not going to be a shock. There is not going to be a shock. Let's not have a conversation around shock. You electric, you get light. What's the shock you?
Because someone brought it and said, okay, let's go and vote. It's not by sitting here and saying Osimhen is favorite to win. But we should come for
for the CAF. Is anybody voting? We're not voting. There's a panel that will vote, journalists and the rest. And I don't know if there's a link for us to vote.
I haven't seen.
There's no fans voting. CAF never advanced recently. I think it's for the FIFA. My YouTube is not working. Why don't we see him on YouTube? It's like I will be watching from here. Well, we can't see him for now because we don't have the equipment and the technology to be able to do that. So basically, for CAF, I think it's the panel of judges that will vote. But let's look at it. Osimhen was voted the best African footballer in Ghana.
Yeah.
And some other African countries, even in Dubai. I think the African Footballer of the Year award is already on its way. Like, it's there. Sorry, it's there. There is no major contender. People say Bono. Yeah, he had a great World Cup, but is that enough, substantial enough? And then the argument will come that if it is substantial enough for Messi to win the men's award, but Messi won the World Cup. But they didn't want to win the World Cup. When was the last time a goalkeeper won the African Footballer of the Year or any award? So that one is eliminated. Riyad Mahrez, I said it before, and I'll say it over and over again. Mahrez was never in the contest.
Really?
I remember saying that the only way Mahrez would have won it is he goes to the finals of the Champions League, is the guy who scores the winning goal. He goes to the finals of the FA Cup, is the guy who scored, mesmerized everybody and scored the winning goal. Then that I would have switched. But this guy won the highest goal scorer award, first African to do that. It's not the first African player to play in Italy, and also won the league title on the back of his performance. Napoli were champions. The reason why Napoli didn't win the league title 2 seasons ago was the 7 games that he missed. If you look at all the games that he lost, it was those games that he was absent that separate them from the champions, Inter Milan, 7 points. Yeah. So when you look at that, you come back to this one and say, because of the consistency of his performance and his goals, that's the reason why they won it. And then look at his performance again in the qualifiers now. He scored 10 goals in the qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations. His closest rival is Sadio Mane, 5 goals. So there is not a place. In Champions League, he played 6 games and scored 5 goals. There is not a place where he's put his foot where the Lord has not given it to him. I don't understand where right now Victor Osimhen can tread upon serpents and scorpions and they will not harm him in the African award. Well, for the FIFA men's, what we just need is 12 minutes, right? Yeah. I don't want him to be on number 12. What we just need is let him even be on the top 5. Let him be on that podium when they announce and he get that small plaque, team of the year, that arrangement, because it is out of this 12 that you get that FIFA 11, right? So it should be there first. I'm not sitting here telling you FIFA is going to give him the award. He is not going to get it. But if he's on the top 5 or the top 10, he's on that podium, he's invited on that day, and I see Osimhen wearing suit and black tie because it's a suit and tie event, I'm happy. In the future, there's a thing about visualizing to actualize. I'm sounding like Faladoroto, like all these fake pastors now, but I'm just saying, in life, you visualize something. And sometimes one of the most inspiring visuals you can have is to go and be there. You know how they say if you sit next to high performance, your own performance will go up.
Yeah.
If you sit to low performance, your own high performance will drop. So for Victor Osimhen, he needs to get into that room, shake hands with people, and realize that, okay, I'm not here. I'm not here. What do I do with this opportunity? What do I do with this brand? What do I do with this? Do I want to come back again? Because that's a very key thing. Like, you travel once, you've been to the AFCON, and you know, one day you sit down and tell the story. I like to share story. I don't like to keep it. You tell the story of how you went to AFCON, you didn't have accreditation, you were in Cameroon, you were entering every matches. It's incredible. And then later you got your accreditation. But from the beginning, that's how much passionate you are. Do you want to go to the next AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire? The answer is yes, without a shadow of doubt. Even without the stress in Cameroon, in short, to you, it's not a stress. It's joy. Me and my crew were the only ones that were living large in Cameroon. Every other person that came from Nigeria, probably Nigerian folk people also were living large. We're suffering. We were the only one. We had two cars, escorts. We're living on a different planet, hanging out with CAF people and the rest. But I saw what you guys were going through, especially that period when they would say everybody gets out of the training. People hated me for it, like, why only Edafe? Why would they? Who is he? Where does he belong? I saw all the backbiting, all the noise. Do you think that I don't want to have that experience again? So if Victor Osimhen goes into that event, wherever they are hosting it, first off, it will be subdued. It's the first of its kind from his family, because that's how things work. When you achieve certain things, you look at your family, you look back at the family tree and say, who the hell am I? I'm sure that's what happened with David when he wrote, who is man that you are mindful of him? You understand? You sit back and like, wait, of all the people that have played for Nigeria since Thunder Balogun and the rest, since the team that went to QPR to go and play, I'm the guy who is here, who is invited to this gala, and then I'm shaking hands with, because obviously you want to meet Lionel Messi one-on-one, you meet some of these great guys, you shake hands. You want to come back to that party now. It's an event you want to come back to. So it will inspire your performance, it will inspire your zeal, it will inspire how you carry yourself, so that next time again you get an invite into that room, because that's not something you can get crashed. That's why I'm practically begging the way they beg for big brother housemate. I'm practically begging, go and vote for Victor Osimhen. Let it be overwhelming. Let the power of 200 million people come to play. They say we have 40 million Nigerians who love football. This is the time to show that number. If we hit that website and vote and hit the server in such a way, even if I want to do a project in Nigeria, like, really, you have 40 million people voting from Nigeria for Victor Osimhen. Let's go do a FIFA activation in Nigeria. And then with all the Nigerian diaspora people, please go vote for Victor Osimhen. It's not about whether you love him or not, but it's just about soft power for your country. Just let your country have that soft power, that ability to say one of our own was among the top five or top. So I know the top three is always going to be Messi, Haaland, Mbappe.
Yeah.
Nobody beats those three.
Right. Talking about Victor Osimhen, just to remind you that he was named as the best young player in the Globe Soccer Awards in, I think, last 2022. It was held in Dubai.
The UAE, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's like a preamble to, what this guy can go on to achieve if he continues on this trajectory. So, yeah, Victor Osimhen, another nomination. We hope.
Professor Aroture, your father. Okay, so he said, visualize to acquire, aspire to inquire, require to maguire. Try. Motivational speaker, I don't finish people. I think the Patrick says Osimhen is breaking bounds. Yeah, that's true.
All right. Talking about the best award, has been nominated alongside top players. You talked about Haaland, Messi, there's Rodri, there's Declan Rice, there's Kevin De Bruyne. Declan
Rice is the only English player in that list.
Yeah. So in good company, you'd say.
There's not Jude Bellingham.
No Jude Bellingham. I can't find the name here, but these are
English media get power. I give it I give it to them.
These are the best 12 players that was nominated by.
Anybody with English media wants to say they will sell them.
They would still sell it.
They will sell them.
That's how good they are in terms of their media, PR, and the like. So yeah, Victor Osimhen, we wish you all the best, and we hope he goes on to be on that podium like we want him to be. So yeah, Ballon d'Or, FIFA the best. CAF Awards in December. Wait for that one, and let's see how.
If things go well, that's in Morocco, right?
Yeah,
I might just go to Morocco. I might just go to Morocco and let me go and see what. Like, hey, Morocco. You know that time they gave me one visa to Morocco. I didn't travel. I was supposed to travel. My son was not well. I have to take care of my son.
Family first.
Always.
All right. So moving on the show. I mean, talking about one award to the other. Another man who's sparked to life in Bundesliga is Victor Boniface.
Yeah, player of the month.
And he's gotten into the record books again. He's won the player of the month, the Bundesliga player of the month. Remember, I was named rookie of the month.
Yeah.
And the only player who has achieved that was Erling Haaland.
Haaland, yeah.
Borussia Dortmund. I mean, what's the? I mean, when last we have this bright start for a Nigerian player in a top league like the Bundesliga? Victor Boniface. Everyone is talking about him now. Like the whole German media is raving about this young man. Xabi Alonso can't stop speaking highly of him.
I think Xabi Alonso got a gift, a free gift. Shout out to Amar Katuba on that too, because did pretty well on that. I'm happy, especially now that our partnership with Bayern Munich is now extending to going to pretty soon will become a partnership with Bayern Munich and will be doing something. So Victor Boniface already fall into the group of people that will be on that project that will, it's almost a done deal anyway. So it makes me happy. But for a Nigerian, I think I just, there's this thing that says, growing up, they'll say if you want to eat frog, make sure you eat big one. So that they insult you, so you eat big one. I don't like to be an also wrong. I don't, if you're putting your name to something, if you're joining something, be the very best at it. That's why when I look at people, like if you go to school, my brother, if not school you choose, be a first class student, be top, even if you don't make first class, but be someone to remember. If you join an industry, broadcasting, don't just be an also one of them. No, be the very best at it. And I think that's the mentality of excellence. And you might not agree, a lot of people might not agree, but I think that the performance of Victor Osimhen is rubbing off on a few players who can take the challenge. Last season, we saw where Ademola Lookman said he wants to overtake Victor Osimhen. Yeah. Yes, it didn't happen, but I like that challenge. Throwing your hat in the ring, like, I'm not going to be left out. I like the news. I like the spotlight, the attention on Victor Osimhen. I mean, when was the last time you hear? The last time a stadium echoed the name of a Nigerian player insanely, like they did for Victor Osimhen in Napoli at the Maradona, was when Amakashi was playing for Besiktas. He's the only player who had 3 songs to his name, right? And so when you see that and your player coming up through the ramp too, you tell yourself, this is the kind of life, this is royalty. Yeah. This is the kind of life that I want to live, especially when it is not illegal, especially when it is not hush puppy-ish. This is the kind of life I want to live. And okay, I need to put in the work. I need to sharpen my arrow. So when I draw my bow back and I shoot, I'm hitting the bullseye. And so it's magisterial, let me put it that way, for a Boniface to go from where he used to be to come into Bayern Leverkusen. Remember, he's not playing for one of the top clubs in the Bundesliga. Bayern Leverkusen is an also run. It's just there. It's not in the top 3 bracket of Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, right? And to be able to do this, you already know that the next transfer, we're looking at between anything above 80, 90 to 100 million. If he keeps this form going, Kai Havertz not do so. What's another one that came? Kai Havertz, and then there's another one that came from Germany to Chelsea. There are 2 players that came from Germany to Chelsea that period. Kai Havertz and one other one, I've forgotten his name now. They didn't do up to that.
Timo Werner.
Timo Werner. So when you look at this performance, this is the early days, and somebody will remind me that I saw I want you do for Union Berlin, and they don't sign up for big money, but to be very, very honest here, this performance that he's putting up, if he continues to put it up consistently and don't fall by the wayside, that's a big money move, either to Bayern to replace Harry Kane, because Harry Kane is not a forever player, it's not a forever living product, he's one for the pension books, but win the title for them, help them do something. If he continues like this, his athletics, he's fast, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can head, he's got everything. He's got a power header. Last time I see somebody power a header like this was Olivier Bell. And that's a 96, 95, 96, 97, 98, like that. So I think that if you keep going, Olivier Bell, Verdevola, those guys were very good with their head. Jonathan Kobaret too, small man, but very, very powerful with his head. I think if he continues like this, is up for the top, and congratulations to him for for that. But before you come up with anything, let me read some of the comments here. Yemi Dana might say, and they always fear how black people always hinder their fellow blacks from joining them at the top. That's a very funny thing. We need to learn from the Jewish people. As a Patrick say, has there even been a Nigerian for FIFA Best Award? Omo, God bless Osimhen. I think Kanu Nwankwo was nominated, but in the group of 30 or 50, used to be a pool of 50. And then there was also the time, I think Okosha was mentioned, and Celestino Bayero was mentioned one time as well. But that was how far. Getting into the top 12, Osimhen is the first. Keldovia says, Baba, where do I vote? It's on the FIFA website. Go for the FIFA website, you'll see it. I tweet the link on my Twitter handle. So if you can go check my Twitter handle, I think you'll see this. My last tweet. I make sure the link to vote. So, okay. But Baba, wait to how FIFA do this shortlist without Rafael Leao of AC Milan, Jude Bellingham, and Rice is there. These people still a joke.
There's always going to be controversy in any list that is released.
Well, if you look at it, so, Declan Rice won the Conference League with West Ham for a team that is struggling, and then he's just hit the ground running with Arsenal. Rafael actually, when it matters most, it didn't show up. It's hard. And for Jude Bellingham too, he was playing for a Dortmund team that had the title in their hand, win it, and they didn't win it. So all of those two also causes drawback. I don't think they are joking. I think it's they made the right call on this one. Somebody said to Novana, okay, we're trying to remember that name at the time. Have voted already for him. Thank you very much, Maiwa, for voting for him. That's a good one. Eze Patrick, it's not okay. I've read that one. And then Yamina might say, one day, Uncle E, I go want to hear your opinion on why do black people hate each other so much at the detriment of their progress. I think there was a time ago that I said it. So it is called configuration. You know what configuration is? Configuration is what you are told consistently over a time. It's called subliminal marketing, subtle infusion into your head. The black man is groomed and trained to focus on himself alone, worship the white man, hate the black man. So let me give you a clearer picture of what I just said now. When we were growing up, we grew up, Africans are the greatest storytellers. That's why you have things like Tales by Moonlight, sitting under the tree and telling stories, Village Square, telling stories was what we were very good at. How did that change? They eroded that culture by bringing us religion. They bring us religion and say, this is what is coming to redeem us. This is our savior. This is our deliverer. And that's a very big lie. And when they brought it, they first cut us off our roots. Because our roots used to be the story. Remember, they teach us history in school. And they automatically force us to accept that Mungo Park discovered the Niger. So even when you do not agree physically, they bring your exam sheet here, you will write Mungo Park. They will tell you Christopher Columbus discovered America. They first fill your head with all of these lies to a point where you believe it. They tell you that America is God's own country over a long period of time, and you ignore the reality. It's like a girl who's in love, or a man who is in love, a person who's in love, who ignore all of the red flags that are there for you to see. Like, this is dangerous. You're walking into hell. But no, America is the greatest land on the hill, a city on the hill that looks down on everybody. The police is the what? You said, that's why I want to go God's own country. I want to go there. In God we trust. But you ignore the fact that America have the highest homeless people in the world, even though they are not the most populated country in the world. They have the most incarcerated people in the world. And for having a black skin, you are 10 times likely to die by police shooting or drive-by shooting in America than any other place on the planet Earth. But that's where you want to go. Because what? He who controls information controls the balance of power. Over the years, from movies to music to everything, they've subliminally sold you an idea, and then you're not going to church. For those who have not been able to get visa lottery or travel or jackpaism, you're not going to church. Every weekend, the pastor begins to tell you that there's a family tree that is hindering your progress. And you remember that you are from Africans are agrarian people. By nature, we have a lot of trees in our village. And then you take that comment, that parabolic statement, Literally, you start thinking, oh, that tree in the village, you should go and cut it. This one should happen. And then they tell you that that old woman in the village, who normally, when people are old, they will wrinkle, they will walk bed. Oh, that woman that is walking bed is the witch in your village that is holding you down. Then you negate the concept of working hard and you start saying it is witches that is affecting you. And all of that subconsciously being planted in your head every day. Over a long period of time, that becomes who you are, because you will get transferred to your children and your children transferred to their children. It becomes a legacy, a norm. So black man is afraid of a fellow black man, say, don't share your secret with people. But the internet, Google, is filled with people who share business secrets with other people for free, which then they hold them. Why we say now when we talk, say, not anything when you want to not talk about to, not let people yell. Once they yell, which could just take up. Then feed you that, and then you now accept it and then believe it and begin to project it. Don't forget, like I always say, nobody needs to go to church to be saved. Nobody needs to go to, I'll say it 1,000 times. Church is the headquarter of neo-colonialism, where they manipulate your brain and you don't go get sense again. Like I always said, before I got married, when people ask me what was I looking for in a woman, first rule was, I don't want to marry a woman who is obsessed about my pastor, I have a man of God. No, you go marry a man of God. I don't.
My father.
My daddy in the Lord. Any small thing, I want to talk to my spiritual father. Don't I go fire you? They mad. I don't know. I don't even have that space. I'm a pure African to the core. And you know the funny thing, once you get in touch with your Africanness, two things begin to happen. One, you start connecting with people irrespective of their race, their tribe, their color, their creed. That's one. Two, similar people start connecting with you as well. Try it. It's something I practice, and you're aware of this. The people who make this channel run, it's not me. I started in the first 4 years, it was all me. But for a while now, it's got nothing to do with me anymore. And even like somebody else, oh, I want to buy you for Monday. I want to buy you for Tuesday. I want to buy you for Friday. I want to pay for your data. Some of them I've not met before. Get in touch with your Africanness. There is something unique about you being an African and being proud of it. Nigeria is not all that we hope it to be. So also America, so also England, so also Brazil, so also France. But guess what? You think the French people, have you seen any French man saying that, oh, France is oppressing 14 African countries? Have you seen it? If not Nigeria, they don't. I told somebody the other day that, hypothetically, if Buhari had taken Eyimba and given it to, let's say, a billionaire from Dubai, take it from the government of Abia State and give it to a businessman from Dubai, everybody would have said, oh, we talk he want to Islamize Nigeria. You see, he don't carry our club. But that's exactly what he did in England. Boris Johnson took a club and gave it to his American idiot friends who does not know how to run football. Everybody's okay. Would you rather this Chelsea or the Chelsea of Roman Abramovich?
Of course, Roman.
But look at the nonsense that they've done. Guess what? Who support the idea the most? Black people. Black people, they're okay. The club is okay. None of them fit talk. But to say now African president do this thing, will be talk around. Everybody talk sense about that. This was not football. This was political interference of the highest order. But guess what? Black people, everything, because now you both one. When you both shit, my cream for black man body. When you both mess up perfume for black man body. So we've been indoctrinated. We've been trained first off to hate our roots. Anybody. My mom will say, any picky way if he beat him, mama will beat anybody. Any picky way if he insult him, mama will insult anybody. It's just the truth. So when you see, most times when I see Nigerians, that's why you see me react the way I react. When I see Nigerians who go abroad and calling Nigeria a zoo, calling Nigeria shit code, this person will use him, mama, and papa to do more. This person when you talk this to, so I don't want to mention it, but you know all of them. They will use their parents anymore because they've lost the sense of value. You cannot see food shop on another person's house. You want to say your home, don't become shit. No, once you start thinking like that, you're an idiot. And it's a continuous thing. So until we start realizing that, look, the best connection that we have, I agree that all race should be connected. But your first root is your color, your type. Your type. There's a program in Redeem, very, very unique. They say when you go out for evangelism, go and bring your kind. If Vulcanizer cannot preach to Dangote, it takes a Tony Lumelu to go preach to Dangote. Go and bring your fellow Vulcanizer. fuel attendant, go and bring your fellow fuel attendant. That's why Redeemed Church is 5-minute walking distance. There's always Redeemed Church. Don't go and evangelize. Say, I won't go meet Jesus to Dangote. How you want to see him? You're not going to see a driver, a gate man. You want to go see Dangote. You went. So that's why black. This thing that we do, most of us never know. Most of us don't know, say we do wrong. Because the power that controls us, it's not like some of our government, where they oppress us. They're not going to say that they oppress us. There is a knee. There's a knee on the neck of some of our government. Let me give you a very good example. I was telling a friend the other day that you see this whole election, passed, America will control Tinubu. That's the reason why Tinubu not going to come out publicly say, I want join BRICS. You know why? Chicago will release documents. Yeah. Many documents will come out. So he's careful. And some decisions he wants to take now will take it out of care. Because the knee of Chicago or whatever, the knee of American government is on his neck. Because they always look for people that they can manipulate and put there. If you try and talk, you will see what you will put out. Did you not see that? Did I not share the video of the British spy that talked about how they manipulated Nnamdi Azikiwe? Yeah. You watched that video. Before that video, what was the idea of Nnamdi Azikiwe? And after that video, how do you not say Azikiwe? I told a friend, Shana actually one day, I said,
the video, great man, this,
after the video, what do you think of it?
You have to have a second thought.
Good. I told Shana actually one day, I said, you know what, we don't have media in Nigeria. Because people are not independent, people are thinking for their stomach alone. And we don't have people who, can really come together and lift you up and allow you to have that independence and make you be able to say the truth. Now, guess what? We have certain people who are seen as heroes. Ken Saro-Wiwa is one of them. And one day I sat down with some guys, I said, Ken Saro-Wiwa, you call that guy a hero. Yaradua, Umar Musa Yaradua is a hero. Is some people. We are in darkness because of that idiot. But you people say he's a hero. I say a hero because of how they give you the perception that they give you because he did the biddings of the masters and they position him that way. You must also look at the reality and say, no, this is you can't call these people a hero. These guys put us in this mess that we are in, that we're not happy. Somebody will get a first class degree from a university. It's not respected. But somebody gets a visa to travel to one country where he's going to go work with people, go work in a mental home with people that have dementia, and everybody's celebrating. You don't have money, you don't have money. Are you crazy? What kind of society? Is that the kind of society you want to raise? I have 3 children. That's the kind of country I want to hand over to them. It's a long conversation. It takes us away from sports. But Yemi, you asked the question, so I need to tell you what is happening. It's a virus. What we treat is the symptoms. The goodness in us will always show, because that's the natural way that we are created. That's what the universe wants from us. But then there are other people who manipulate the universe who can bend it. And it's a very long. Maybe when we start doing podcasts next year, we would have to speak outside of sports and have that conversation. It's a long one. The West are very intentional, deliberate, and strategic about anything. Anything they see, they think 10 years. What has the West been doing for Africa? They've been working hard to reduce our population because that's the way they can possess our land. So it pisses them off to see when an African man or woman is giving birth to 10 children. Did you not see the word that slipped out of Macron's mouth? Africa is just multiplying. Why are they multiplying? Why is it your business? Independent sovereign countries. Why is it your stupid? Why is it your business? Manage your country. If you're that good, give our resources and use your policies to manage your country. But guess what? That's what they want. That's the manipulation. They created Ebola in the lab and throw it at us. We contain it. Because we are alpha human by nature, but they've manipulated us to make us feel like we're slaves. And we are happy to be slaves. We're happy. You see, think about it for a minute. I keep asking my church friends, and people say, that I not like God. No, you're making a mistake. The God is so to use, not the God that created the world. The God is so to use a slave master because it falls into the idea of what they want. This one, I ask people, as bad as people say Tinubu is, can you threaten Tinubu's son on the street? Sheyi, if you see Sheyi the pass, if you slap him, your hand go paralyzed with everybody in your family. Why? Because he's the son of the president. Well, you call yourself a child of God, every single day you wake up, you're praying against the devil. Christians are marketing the devil in Nigeria. In Africa, Christians market the devil. The most common place you will hear the works of the devil is in church. The easiest, the greatest advertiser of the devil. If you've never known about the devil before, you know that if you don't go to church for 5 years, you will forget whether the devil exists. Try it. If you stop going to church now, 5 years, your brain cells will forget whether the devil exists. But go to church for 1 year continuously, you will know the devil more than you know God. Is that the house of God or the house of the devil?
But moving on, it's a long conversation on this topic, but it is still the Sport Buffet on TV radio. Talking about Boniface, someone is asking, yes, he's in action tonight. They play Bayern Munich, big game. I think you should keep an eye on that fixture. Friday night game is always special. And talking about Leverkusen, perfect start of the season.
What big way if he scores a hat trick against Bayern? Bayern does that terminate my contract. But what big way to be if he scores a hat trick against Bayern?
Two good strikers facing each other. Harry Kane for Bayern Munich, Leverkusen for
Harry Kane is yesterday's man.
Boniface for Leverkusen. So big game. Like I said, perfect start for Leverkusen so far in the Bundesliga under Xabi Alonso. So yeah, if you love football, you love Boniface, keep an eye on that fixture later tonight. Someone is asking here, his name is Chooks. He said, Elevator, what is your thought on Chiamaka Nnadozie not making the goalkeepers list for the FIFA the best award? Do you think she should be there?
No, I don't think she should be there. Even for African Women Footballer of the Year, I don't think she's going to be there. So let's call it spade a spade. Nigeria got knocked out in the round of 16. She may not have considered a lot of goals, but when in the history of football do you see anybody at the round of 16 get nominated into this award category? From the round of 16, you have quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then the finals. The people who are there, how many goalkeepers get nominated in first place? And then if you want to nominate Epps, the England goalkeeper, fantastic. The Spanish goalkeeper, fantastic. Those are the only two options you have to pick from. If you get past that one, the Australian goalkeeper was also good. So before you get to Chiamaka, see, the thing is, as excited as we can be about our own, we should also be very honest. It's important to be very honest. Well, so there was a lot of comment that came off what I was breaking down. And Leo, this says, boss, hello, how can we vote? You can go to FIFA website, or if you follow me on Twitter, you see the post. I posted it yesterday. It's the last tweet that I made on X or Twitter, whatever, and you can vote there. Click on the link and then go to the FIFA page and then you vote. I say we need to have this conversation someday. Yes, we will have it. I always have it with my children. People say, why don't I go to church? I say, I don't want to go to church and narrow my children's brain. That's why I don't go to church. And you don't have to like me for it, but church narrows the brain of people, makes your brain become like an ostrich. You go from a human being that have electrolytes and the rest in your head to an ostrich, and I don't want to be that kind of person. And my parents made that mistake with me. I'm not going to make that mistake with my children. Here's Patrick says, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ojukwu, and Awolowo were not heroes. They did a lot of dark things. That's something, but that's the way we see them, because we don't read history. They don't teach us this history in school. Until you see the facts presented in your face, you now wonder, like, why is this guy a hero? I see a lot of job boys jumping behind, what's it called, Tompolo, and what's the other guy? Asari Dokubo, and I'm asking, I think this guy is the slave master that is holding your destiny. Okay, Asari Dokubo's father was a chief judge. This guy is not a poor boy. This guy is not fighting for you. Okay, he's bought like a whole area, a whole layout in Cotonou, houses, schools. You that are running, shouting, boo, 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 boo. What do you have? Nothing. Is this the kind of people you want to run after? Is this how you see people running after Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk abroad? This one is saying your free money, using you to constitute nuisance, and you're running after him. That's the stupidity that we have. Okay, we need to change that. I'm beginning to sound like Sharon Kuti now. I don't want to, but sometimes some of this pisses me off, right? But let's go on. Yemi Dana might say, I appreciate the breakdown, sir. I apologize for diverting us. No, it's a conversation we need. Diverting us a bit. Clearly, we have been programmed, all of us, in our roles, but some of us have started reading and realizing this. Yemi Dana might say, the day I had Fela's song, ITT, I detested even MKO because clearly all these guys, national heroes, were positioned to sideline. There's no from day one. See, so people, there's this thing people said about MKO is a pillar of sports. I say, name a stadium that the man built. Name a stadium that MKO Abiola built.
The stadium was named after him.
No. Shut
No,
up!
I'm just saying.
Shut up!
Not like I'm using it as to name it. I'm just saying that the stadium was named after him. So you don't know what how that happened.
Name a stadium that he built. Name a facility
No,
that he
no.
set up that produced talent. Listen, anybody who give you crumbs, who use crumbs to reign in glory. Like I've got dossier on that man. I sit where I am and say, like, this is a hero. They give him a public holiday in Nigeria. I say Martin Luther King. Even Martin Luther King, I'm not a fan of Martin Luther King in the first place, but you know, let that work. Black people have been programmed for too long. You know that black people have their business running. Martin Luther King, the idiot, showed up and said he wants equality. Equality with who? Why do I need to be equal with people that are better than in the first place? I say you want equality, okay, no, Allah. Cover all your businesses. They had their own bus line that was running from Mississippi, Alabama down to New York. They had their own bus line, their own shops and their businesses. And once Martin Luther King gathered everybody to leave their business and be talking and be marching, and he was the one talking, and everybody was excited. Before you know, all those businesses crumbled. What did the CIA do? They go and bring in opioid, bring drugs into the black community, and all the black men were locked up in jail. Should we have followed Martin Luther King? No. But hey, it is what it is. And the society will do that. People see, when people don't read, I get pissed off. Like, do you know how much you suffer yourself by not doing research, by not reading, by not finding out about you? One day I asked one guy always need me to help him. And I said, what made your father poor? And he was angry. I said, no, we're having a man-to-man conversation. We're age mates, so we should have man-to-man conversation. I'm broke as well. Father poor. Why is your grandfather poor? If you can't figure those things out, you will still not figure out why you are poor and why you cannot get out. So I can help somebody who is on his way up, who's working to grow, like our cleaner. Come to me one day, I say, come. Are you going to do this cleaner work forever? 2 hours Monday, 2 hours on Wednesday, 2 hours on Friday. But is this what you want to do forever? You cannot live on 30,000 naira plus whatever extra you get in other things that you do. So I want to study law, but I don't have anybody to support me. I say, okay, go write your jam. This office will pay your bill till you finish school. Not because we like her, no, but because that's an open door for illumination. Have sense and know how life is, be empowered. But there are people who will tell you they want you to buy them bone straight hair and they're not working. They want to use the latest phone. Okay now. Okay now.
All right. I don't know if you still have more comments to take. Let's move on.
Yeah, Yami Dynamite said, the Black Wall Street, and they were benefiting from trading with each other. Martin Luther King come and say, I have a dream that my poor little children will be. Who cares? Who cares about that? Mayawa says, thanks this morning. I really appreciate and enjoy your program, Soul Searching, and bringing you back to life. Thank you very much for all that. And the final question?
All right.
This studio is hot. I'm burning.
I don't know how you keep on.
No, because this will go
I
off.
understand. I thought you wanted to leave it for a while.
For a while. I will go off.
Your sweat is still on your face.
I'm pissed this morning.
Yeah, let's move on to our final talking point on the show. It's deadline day in Turkey today. And Wilfred Ndidi is official. He won't be leaving on deadline day. So I think he's going to stay at least for now.
And it's looking like they will gain promotion. It's early days anyway, but
they've started well.
The team is doing well.
Let's talk about Emmanuel Dennis. According to Fabrizio, he's close to agreeing a loan deal to Istanbul Başakşehir. That's a team in Turkey. So Emmanuel Dennis has been, should I say, on exile. Nottingham Forest is not named in they've submitted their Premier League squad. He's not included. And do you think Turkey is? You talk about Turkey being a home for Nigerian players.
Yeah, like Corona.
So Emmanuel Dennis might just be the latest man to go to Turkey, and that's according to Fabrizio. So it's almost here we go. But do you think? What's the way back for Emmanuel Dennis? This is a man that they signed from Watford. He had a fantastic season before they signed him to Nottingham Forest. So what's the way back for Emmanuel Dennis and his football career from Turkey?
I spent the last 1 year trying to understand Emmanuel Dennis, because one day I just sat back and I said, I've only judged Emmanuel Dennis from what people have to say. I want to know the guy myself, and I've spent the last 1 year trying to know him. It's not really as bad as the picture is painted, but the picture they also painted is not wrong about him. So it is, that saying that what the hand calls, the head will carry. The head will need the ear word. The ear will need the ear word. Neither will quite follow the head. So now he's down. The only way to go is up. Nobody is questioning his talent. Nobody's questioning his ability. The roads could have been different, but he's not Dele Alli anyway. He's got a fight in him. He's got an ability that can be trusted. Going to Turkey, his age is not winding backward. He's going forward. Going to Turkey on loan is good because he needs to prove himself and then put himself on the shopping block, on the window again, to be able to be bought. If not to come back to Nottingham Forest, but to go somewhere where he can shine bright. he's also admitted that he made a lot of mistakes. He's surrounded by a lot of wild wolves and friends who are senseless as he is, but he's a kid. And when I say this, that he's a kid, I'm not saying it with a sense of disrespect, but truth be told, he's a kid and kids make mistakes. I always say that I will forgive anybody's mistake from the age of 13 to 25. But when you get to 25, 26, 27, bro, you better start having senses because you've been given enough slack to make all the mistakes you can make. That's why you won't see me get angry if I see a teenager get pregnant because they know absolutely nothing, right? And so, but when you get to 27, you should start having senses. And I think that Emmanuel Dennis is not a place where he should have sense. He should hold back some reactions and should do the talking on the field of play. If he does it and find consistency to go continuously for a period of time, then we can have a conversation again. Does he have what it takes to come back to the top flight? Yes, he does.
Yeah, definitely.
Does he have the talent, the speed, the ability, the precision, the quality? Yes. The question is, does he have the work rate that will match all of this talent that he's got? That's the real thing. Because when people say, yeah, footballer is inborn, every footballer that is successful have to work. If you don't put in the work, my brother, you like name your picking Messi. We've seen plenty little Messi out of Nigeria turn out to be nothing. So that's it for Emmanuel Dennis. I think that if he puts in the work, the shift, and stay focused, Stephen Covey in 7 Habits of Highly Successful People say, keep the main thing, the main thing. If he can keep the main thing, stay that focus, he's got the ability to come back.
All right, we are at the end of the show today, but because of, we appreciate your comments. At times, some of your comments actually lead us to some talking points on the show. Let me just take this last one because we are almost wrapping up. It's about Jadon Sancho. He said, Elegbete, please, where do you see this Sancho drama ending? With news now coming out that he has refused to apologize to Erik ten Hag. Of course, I don't know if you saw the news. He's been banished to train with the youth team, rather. So do you think Sancho should apologize for what he's done? This man, he was defiant in that statement to come out to release, and Ten Hag is not backing down. So he wants to, impose his discipline on the team. So this person is asking, where do you see it ended? Do you think Sancho who bows out at the end of the day? Who
backs down?
Yeah, who backs down?
If he apologizes, then Ten Hag will hold him. Ten Hag will hold him and say, yeah, you were wrong. The guy said he's being scapegoated. So Ten Hag's action is not really showing that he's being scapegoated. I'm not playing the race card here. I'm not going to play it. Is he lazy? Nah, that's beginning to come out that he's lazy even in his days in Dortmund, and that's what I hate. If this guy was lazy in his days in Dortmund, they scouted him. What data, what information were you gathering? And at what point did you decide that, okay, a lazy player that does not train, that does not commit, is a player that we want to sign? So I think if I was Jadon Sancho, I would not back down. I'm being scapegoated and the evidence is here. I'm going to stay here, collect my salary. January, I find a place to go. Because the truth is, even if you apologize right now, nobody will accept him anymore. The dressing room is already being poisoned against him. I know how the internal workings of the club is. They'll call players secretly and tell them, don't miss, we don't want to see with this guy, we don't want to see with this guy. If he's doing anything, don't go with him. And they will tell you like it's a way of disciplining him. But at the end of the day, you're poisoning these players against each other. Even if he comes back, Anthony Martial, that's what they did to Anthony Martial. Even though he has his own problem, but he's not been able to recover because one, when you work in a surrounding where you can't trust anybody and it's a team game, it's hard to build anything because you know that the next person you're going to open your mouth and talk to would leak it to the management and take it up there and even twist the word against you. So you're careful, you're walking around eggshell, but you have to be a team game. And it's crazy. So I don't think that, first of all, Man United does not have the capacity to do all of these things that they're doing. This is bullshit at the highest order, right? But if this is the way Erik ten Hag wants to manage, who am I to question him? The end justifies the means. Where he ends, if he replaces Chelsea or he stays with Chelsea in 12th and 11th position, then we'll know that his job is on the line. He can't go back to Ajax again. He will find somewhere else to go.
All right. In troubled times there at Manchester United ahead of the resumption of the Premier League this weekend. I love it. Hopefully.
You see? Enemies at Man United. You see? I know something I hear that day.
All right, that is a wrap on the show today. It's been a wonderful ride from Tuesday to this very moment. We'll grow again next week. Thank you for sending in your comments. Thank you for always tuning in on the show. Let's do this again next week, Tuesday, up until Friday.
All right. Thank you very much, Mario Sebastian. And thanks to everybody who joined in. But as we go, these are the comments that ended the show on YouTube. Yemi Dynamite said, I'm sorry, but I don't see awakening for most soon because people not the read at all. Yemi Dynamite said this, our top 5 is Pep Guardiola, Jose Ancelotti, Prime Rafael Benitez and Zinedine Zidane. Leo, they says, the boss, I just cast my vote. I hope Victor wins. Thank you very much. Yamin Dynamite said, my all-time 5 coaches. Yes, I've seen that. Bobby Kingway says that my top 5 greatest coaches of all time are Alex Ferguson, Carlo Ancelotti, Arrigo Sacchi, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho. And Yamin Dynamite finally said, I'm torn between Benitez and Diego Simeone because when Simeone had that running at Real Madrid, it was run in Atletico Madrid. It was a beauty for me. I'm crushing on Simeone. That's my only crush for football with that. So let me take my top 5.
Yeah.
Number 1 on that list is Arrigo Sacchi. Number 1. My number 2 is Giovanni Trapattoni. Number 3 is what's his name again? The Brazilian coach of 1970. I've forgotten his name. The 1970 Brazilian coach. The guy that came to the opening of Abuja Stadium. Number 4, Pep Guardiola. Number 5, Jose Mourinho. Those are my 5 coaches.
No Don Carlo, no Jurgen Klopp, no.
Who be Jurgen Klopp? Jurgen Klopp not in my top 10. Who is Jurgen Klopp? Jurgen Klopp is a big coach. Let him go and look Bush. Hey, coach, you call Jurgen Klopp. Guys, I beg you come out. I don't provoke. I don't sweat. Boy, I'm broke.
The sweat is really.
Sweat is real. Like that generator, we need to buy another generator. I need 750k to buy another generator. Yeah, so that's how the cookie crumbles, guys. Thank you very much for making the show a reality. You guys are the best community that anyone can have. But let's increase this community. Let's raise it up. If you value what we do here, then let's keep doing it. Mario Zagallo, that's the name. Okay, now Paco, you're very senior man. Mario Zagallo, yeah. That's the coach. Mario Zagallo, all these upcoming 25 naira coaches. Yamiti, God bless you. Sabi something. Oh, Carlos Alberto Pereira was 1994 coach now. I'm talking about Mario Zagallo. Those are the coaches. You see the way their team they play. Jesus. I remember back in the day when the Sinclair give us cassette, go watch. All these 25 naira coaches. Carlo Ancelotti is good though. He's good. I'm not. But I saw him at Everton. and that's what I have to say. I saw him at Everton. So sometimes it's hard. It's just there, you know. I really wouldn't coach like Carlo Ancelotti. All the coaches that I mentioned are coaches that I like to coach like, okay? So it's okay. Well, thank you very much. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, do what to subscribe. Follow us everywhere, like Monetary Spirit, and we will try to do the very best that we can do. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends to join us. Don't worry. Watch after and share with your friends. Bye-bye and have a wonderful day. Damn. This is FIR. We did a show inside FIR today. Remember when Brilla get AC problem where we go off and for break, for advert break, we go off and